Where would we put the Patriots right now in the AFC on paper? And I know very well the game is not played on paper, but paper's all we got to go on until it's time to play the games. So right now, on paper, they're fourth in their division. They haven't finished last in their division since 2000, Bill Belichick's first season as coach of the Patriots. 22 years, second longest streak in the NFL of not finishing in fourth place in their division. They're, on paper, the worst team in the division. And getting DeAndre Hopkins isn't going to make them third. You got the Bills, you got the Dolphins, you got the Jets. Right now, I think it goes Dolphins, Bills, Jets, but not much of a gap among them. And if the Jets end up with Dalvin Cook, I don't know. You reshuffle those a little bit. Maybe it goes Jets, Dolphins, Bills at that point. I don't know. But I do know this. Patriots in fourth. So, who else is in front of the Patriots? Bengals, yes. Ravens, yes. From a talent standpoint, on paper. Jaguars, boy, it sounds weird to say that. Got to get used to the Jaguars being good, yes. So that's three more right there. Chiefs, yes. That's four more. And even if we stop there, and you could argue they would fall even lower. You could make an argument about the Chargers, maybe. Titans, I don't know. Let's leave those out of it. Bills, Jets, Dolphins, Bengals, Ravens, Jaguars, Chiefs. That puts the Patriots dead center, 8 out of 16. Middle of the pack. Why? Is it quarterback play post-Brady? Look, we know what happened last year, and we know that Robert Kraft isn't happy about it. The Frankenstein monster approach on offense. Matt Patricia, Joe Judge, never should have happened. Belichick's hubris took over. See, he needs to have someone in the building, in the football operation, because Robert Kraft isn't going to do it. Jonathan Kraft isn't going to do it. There needs to be somebody in the football operation that can be Bill Belichick's conscience, his Jiminy Cricket, if you will. Somebody who can say to him, hey, Bill, there's a fine line between thinking outside the box and just plain effing nutty, and you're on the wrong side of that line. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't entrust the offense to a career defensive coach. It doesn't work. You're the exception. You're the one guy who can pivot from being defensive expert to offensive expert and be an expert in everything. Most guys can't do it, even if Matt Patricia is really smart, and possibly even smarter than Belichick on paper. Patricia couldn't do it, not in 1 year. Maybe in time he would have figured it out, but they don't have the luxury of time. That's really the issue for Bill Belichick. We think he has the luxury of time. And I'll get into arguments with people about this because those 6 Super Bowl championships are viewed as some sort of a lifetime pass. We've never dealt with this before, where you have someone who is that accomplished to the point where he's regarded as the greatest coach in the history of the sport, although Andy Reid's making a pretty good argument. Easy to do when you've got Patrick Mahomes, frankly, to close the gap with Bill Belichick. But how long do those 6 last you? What happens if the team continues to sink? Does it undermine what Belichick previously did? I remember when Eli Manning was on the tail end of his career, Shereen Williams made an excellent point. He could hang around so long, it keeps him out of the Hall of Fame. And I think he gets in just because his name's Manning and he's got 2 Super Bowl MVPs. I think that's enough. But if you add to your resume and your permanent record bad performances, no matter who you are, player, coach, whoever, it's your body of work. At some point, Belichick undermines what he's done. At some point, he gets fired by Robert Kraft. And I believe when I go back and look at and think about the things Robert Kraft said in Arizona, when he was asked essentially whether or not Bill Belichick can survive another non-playoff season, or will he be allowed to stay as long as he needs to stay to pass Don Shula for the all-time wins record. You look at what Kraft said in response. There is no lifetime pass. There is no blank check for Bill Belichick. And I think there's real tension between Belichick and Kraft. And I think it's always been there. I think Belichick and Kraft are two dramatically different people. I think Belichick is dramatically different than most people who value relationships and value communication. Bill Belichick just wants to do things his own way without being questioned, without having to explain himself to anyone. When the results speak for themselves, you don't have to explain. When the results aren't there, that's when you have to speak. That's when you have to explain. And if the explanation is, well, spending, 27th in spending. And the owner is basically saying in as tactful a way as possible, that's bullcrap. I've always given him what he wants. So spending is not the issue. Something else is the issue. And the reality is that Belichick is the man in charge of the program. And if the team fails to make the playoffs, it could be the end for Bill Belichick.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.